What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. We are just going to hop right into it today. I would like to talk about an install commission that I completed on a Phoenix Props 7Chambers Star Killer. I think this is called the SKIG. I was never really schooled on the Star Killer. I mean, I'm sure there are SK fans out there that are going to yell at me for calling it the SKIG, but it is a Star Killer themed hilt, right? I've done a couple of the Phoenix Props 7Chambers version of this hilt. It's a fantastic hilt. Really a breeze and a pleasure to install on. So I just did some light weathering on this hilt at the request of the customer, and then I put my usual chassis in this as well. The chassis I do want to come into Fusion and talk about a little bit, and then we'll come up top and do a demo, right? So let's hop right into it. Let's come into Fusion. Okay, so here is the chassis that I designed for this hilt. Static chassis. This does marry up into the upper part of the hilt with this nipple here that is secured rather in place with a set screw. We do have our kill switch here. Here's our battery tray. Inordinate amount of greeblies along each side of the chassis. With this particular chassis, so what I used to do with shine through lenses, so previously, for example, this chassis in previous installs, I would have printed it off in clear resin and then tape off this grill, do a pass of Tamiya spray matte black, and then take that tape off the grill. I wasn't too happy with the result of that when I used to do that. So I modified this model just so that these holes go all the way through to the bottom. So I've got a 2020 NeoPixel strip with some Mylar for diffusion, and that's it, right? So there's no taping off. The chassis was printed in black, and then I did my rub and buff pass on it. So I'm happy with that. It's a simpler, it's a simpler solution for some shine through. So we do have a NeoPixel shine through here. Here is our Proffie board tray. It does slide up underneath this lip. 28mm speaker at the bottom. And that's it, right? Nice and simple static setup. It was nice to revisit this hilt. I was really excited to do this one again. I've done a lot of SKs lately, right? So let's come up top, talk about this hilt. Okay, so here it is. This is the Phoenix Props 7Chambers SK or Star Killer. Obviously, I already have a battery in here, right? So let's talk a little bit about the outside of the hilt first. At the request of the customer, I did do a very light weathering job on this. Another thing I really like about the 7Chambers version of this hilt is there's a real copper ring here. So this already has some natural weathering on it. I happen to love the look of weathered copper, right? So this looks really nice. I did knock down some of the edges on all of these black parts on the CoverTech wheel just to make it look a little bit more used, right? I did add a red wire. This is another thing, like, again, like I am in no shape or form educated in the Star Killer hilt, but I have seen Star Killers with this red wire here. So I don't know if this is canon or correct, but I did like the look of it, and the customer did as well. So we've got a red wire. This is just decorative wire. It is not in use. The quartz point is actually I believe this is a plastic or a polycarbonate quartz that did come with the hilt. So I used that. We've got a single NeoPixel underneath it. That is its own blade in the config. Coming around back, we've got two tactile switches. And then, of course, we've got our emitter up top. Another really awesome thing about this hilt is that the emitter, I believe, 7Chambers or Phoenix Props gives you two of these emitter rings. One is steel and the other is aluminum, I believe. But obviously, we heat stain that just to give it a little bit more of a dynamic look. Okay, that's it. Really nice hilt. So let's talk about how to use this guy. Obviously, I've already got the battery in it. Okay, let's go through just in case. So spring side is your negative. Take the flat part of your battery towards the speaker. Rest it in that battery tray. Hit the kill switch. Oops.
As long as she lives, I will always control you.
So there's that NeoPixel strip. I think I put 3535s in here, not 2020s. But there is a piece of Mylar above them to help with some diffusion. And that's it, right? I believe I put different animations on each font for the accent ring. There we go. So once you get your battery in, put the grip on, thread the grip all the way until it stops, and then you're ready to go. So there it is. The Star Killer from Phoenix Props and 7Chambers. Great hilt.
General Kenobi.
What else you put on here?
I let you live.
All right, let's put a blade in it. All right, so this is a 1-inch blade holder. There is also a set screw just underneath that steel ring that serves as your blade retention. Rest your blade on those PCB pins, tighten that blade retention screw, and you're ready to go. So I believe I set the majority of these configs up with color wheel. To access color wheel, you want to tap aux, or hold down aux and tap main. When you find a color you like, tap main again, and it'll lock that color in. So if you're looking at your switches, top is your main, bottom is your aux. Twist to activate, twist to deactivate are on. Great sounding hilt. It's a really fantastic hilt.
Dathomir will be your grave.
What else?
Kyber shuttle.
One more. One more. Great hilt. Really great hilt. I always love doing SKs, and this particular SK from Phoenix Props is great. It's a really, really phenomenal hilt, right? So, really, really fun build. To the client, thank you very much for trusting me with your install. If anyone has any questions about this particular build or anything, really, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.